my beautiful souls, and welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so very much for joining me here today. It's the Empress, aka Kelsey, and today we are looking at the energies of the winter solstice as well as the new moon in Capricorn and what that is bringing to us, what we can expect, and what messages that our guides may have for us at this time. So out in front of you here we have 3 different piles to choose from. And I'm going to ask you to take a couple deep breaths, really connect to your guides, connect to your intuition, and ask which one of these 3 piles is holding the energies and the messages that you need to see today at the time that you come to this reading. And here we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. And I will have the timestamps to the beginning of each reading in the description box below. So go ahead and pause the video if you still need a moment, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to group number 1. Hello, my beautiful group number 1. Those of you that chose pile number 1, this reading is for you. And today we are looking at the energies and the messages from the winter solstice as well as the new moon in Capricorn, as these are occurring so close together that I do really feel like the energies are connected. So Yule, or the winter solstice, is occurring on December 21st, the day that this video is going up for you guys, and the new moon in Capricorn is occurring on December 23rd. And the winter solstice is all about the return of the sun. Really, it's more of a solar celebration, celebrating the return of the light, the return of the sun. But the winter solstice is the darkest, longest night of the year, and I feel like the new moon is connected to this because of the dark energy of a dark moon or a new moon. So what I really feel collectively overall for the winter solstice and the new moon in Capricorn here is that we are really being guided as a collective to accept our darkness, the parts of us that are unseen, to accept our shadow in more of an embrace instead of refusing to acknowledge it or to see it or to kind of accept it out of fear or out of this connotation that it's a negative thing, that darkness is a negative thing. I feel like there's been such this stigma put around darkness and around the parts of us that we don't necessarily like or we don't necessarily want to look at. Darkness is used kind of interchangeably for like bad energies or even evil energies for some people, and I feel like there's really a need collectively for us to begin to change this and to acknowledge that there are parts of humanity that live in the darkness, that live in the shadows, that need to be embraced, that need to be accepted. And I do feel like this is kind of a point for the collective and for those of you that are tuning into this reading where you are going to begin embracing the parts of yourself that you've kept hidden away or that you've kept in the shadows. So let's go ahead and get into your reading, group number 1, and see what energies come forth for you and what messages your guides have for you in regards to this winter solstice and new moon energy. So we are going to start off with the Astro Dice to get a little bit of the energetic kind of influences that are impacting you the greatest at this time. So group number 1, we have North Node, we have Capricorn, and we have 9th house energy. Interesting, because as we come into the winter solstice, the sun moves from Sagittarius into Capricorn, and 9th house is Sagittarius energy. So that is very, very strong here for you guys. I do feel like you guys are ascending. You guys are awakening to a purpose or to a sense of destiny or fate. Really coming into contact with those things through this time of year for group number 1, which is very, very powerful. I feel a sense of freedom as well. So Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn and can very well kind of govern over cycles and karmic energies in a bigger picture, as well as like the structure that we keep ourselves in, our daily life, our lifestyle, our routines. And I feel like there's a sense of freedom from those things for group number one. So a lot of my group number one souls may need to really take a step back through this time of year and allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to take time off, allow yourself free time is something that I keep hearing here, like free time. There is a need to free up time and space within your life for yourself and for you to allow yourself to transform and to acknowledge where you're meant to be going at this time. So a lot of you guys, group number one, may have been in this kind of rut or in this energy of the same thing every single day, like waking up and being like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of doing this over and over and over again. And I feel like your guides are asking you to take a step back from that structure and from that routine and to kind of free yourself and free up some time and some space to create either expansion or even a new path or a new direction within your life, bringing in, integrating new hobbies or interests or passions, or even changing your work schedule or the structure of your daily life is something coming through here very, very strong for group number one that seems very significant, and it's going to really lead you to where you're meant to be. So there is kind of like a pivot. It's almost like a pivotal point for group number one coming through here. But let's go ahead and get into your cards, group number one, and go a little deeper into what you can expect from the solstice and from this new moon in Capricorn for group number one. There is a sense of ascension here, though. I do want to make that very clear. So a lot of my group number ones, you may be feeling very lost or very confused or feeling even a sense of doubt. Like, did I move in the wrong direction? Am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? The answer is yes. But sometimes even when we're moving in the right direction, even when we're moving down the right path or the path that we're meant to, it still changes. So don't look at change as though that means you've wasted your time, okay, group number one? We have ceremony coming out here. Interesting. And this here says, I call upon those heralds of winter, dimming light for better sight. Hear thy praise spilling from thy lips. A spell I'll cast for thy spirits in me. Yeah, so there's definitely like a part of you, group number one, that is trying to come forth that hasn't been seen either in a very long time, or that you have told yourself you didn't have time for, or even for some of you guys, this is a part of yourself that you didn't even know existed. So there's really a message here for group number one to honor this dark time of the year and to really embrace the parts of yourself that are trying to come forth that maybe you aren't familiar with, and maybe that causes hesitation, maybe that causes doubt, but there's a real need to honor these parts of yourself that are being exposed at this time. There's a real need to celebrate these parts of yourself instead of looking at them as though they're negative or as though they need to be hidden away. Let's pull another card here, group number one. Dimming light for better sight. Yeah, there's definitely something here about being able to see more of yourself, being able to see more of who you really are, or being able to see more of your soul or more of your truth, depending on your situation, that you haven't been able to see because you've been stuck in this lifestyle, in this routine, in this structure of every day getting up, going to work, putting the kids on the bus, just kind of living the same day over and over again. There's something very strong here about that you are being asked to break free from or to become aware of, so that you can kind of bring change into that, to celebrate change. Group number one. We have the moon. Yes, we have some more kind of cycle energy coming through here, but we also have this cat on this card, and this very strongly speaks to me of like our intuition and our inner selves, and the moon very much so speaks to us about our inner world, about our emotions, about our fears, about our dreams, about the night, you know, the darkness. The sun illuminates the day, but the moon illuminates the darkness. And again, we have dimming light for better sight. There's something very significant coming forth for you through this time that you haven't been able to see. So group number one, if you've been seeking clarity, if you've been seeking answers, there's a need to know that these answers are coming, but there's a need to make time for you to open up to them. There's a need for you to make time for yourself. There is a need for you to make time for meditation, for practicing your ceremonies or your rituals or your spell work or your spirituality or whatever it is that you resonate with. Group number one, there's a need to make time for these answers to come into you. As well as group number one, there's something here about even making more time for rest or even for sleep. There's something here about needing to adjust your sleep schedule. So group number one, maybe you've been struggling with insomnia, maybe you've been struggling with not sleeping or staying up too late, or there's just something here about like this imbalance within your sleep schedule that is causing you to not be able to tune into the subconscious or into the dream kind of realm. And there may be answers trying to come in for you through there as well, and that may be why that message is coming through here. As well as I do feel for group number one that the cat may come through as a sign, a symbol, an omen, a synchronicity, or as a spirit guide for you over the next kind of 4 months. Anytime that you're seeing like 4 or 5 months, anytime that you're seeing like a cat, even larger cats like lions or lynx or panthers or anything like that, I feel like that is a message for you about allowing yourself to open up for new things to come in, or for you to be exposed to things that you aren't normally exposed to. Interesting. So let's get some tarot for group number one and go a little deeper into this message that your guides have for you. Group number one, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Again, there's like this essence of a pivotal point for you guys. This is a pivotal time. This is a time to make that change, to take that kind of 90-degree turn that a lot of my group number ones may have been resisting, out of this idea that if you change what you've been doing, then everything you've done has just been a waste of time or energy or money or however this comes through for you. It's not. You needed this experience. You needed to be on the path that you were on in order to get to this turning point, in order to get to this kind of crossroads. Group number one, some of you guys may be very connected to the goddess Hecate, or she may be kind of calling out to you at this time as well, because it does feel like you guys are coming up to like a crossroads that Spirit really wants to urge you guys to turn, instead of to continue forging forward in the same way or on the same path. Interesting. So group number one, a lot of you guys may have kind of this life purpose or this kind of energy within your soul that needs change, that needs a lot of change through this lifetime. So a lot of you may be kind of feeling like you want that structure, you want that stability, you want that long-term career, but it's almost as though you guys keep being forced into change. You keep being forced into, and I don't want to say forced as in like a negative way, but keep being pushed into a new direction, or keep being pushed into new jobs, or to new energies, or to travel. And I feel like that's a big part of your soul's purpose here, and something that you're being asked to embrace instead of resist, is to follow where your path is leading you, instead of trying to stay on like the straight and narrow idea of what success is. Interesting. We also have the Empress coming out here. So major energies coming out for group number one. With the Empress here, it's very kind of similar to this moon energy actually that's coming out. it's almost as though this winter solstice is marking a period of gestation. Again, giving yourself that time to rest and to relax and to go inward and allow growth to happen from the inside out, to allow creativity to blossom, to allow these parts of yourself to come out of the darkness, or to come out of like this energetic womb, if you will. It's very interesting. So I keep being shown like this idea with the Empress here of a pregnant woman and the energy that it takes to grow like a child within you. And you can look at a pregnant woman and you can't see the energies that are being consumed in order to grow that child. But the mother can feel depleted energetically, can feel tired and lethargic and feeling like they just ran a marathon when they just got up and walked to the kitchen. And I kind of feel like group number one, you guys are kind of in this state of this energetic consumption, like really needing to allow yourself to pull back physically or in the physical realm because of the amount of energetic transformation that's happening within you. So if you've been wondering why you've been so tired, or there's like sleep issues coming in here, or feeling very depleted, feeling very energetically depleted, there's a need to listen to that, group number one, and to honor it. With this ceremony energy here, there's a big theme for group number one of really needing to honor what you're feeling, really needing to honor the parts of yourself that you resist, or that you maybe, for some of you guys, this is more about like not allowing yourself to rest, or not acknowledging that you're burnt out or that you need to rest, and telling yourself that you have to keep going, you have to keep going, you have to keep going. No, you don't. There's a need to honor the rest as well. Group number one. We also have the Knight of Swords. So group number one, what I see with this Knight of Swords is like there is this energy of kind of like swiftness. I feel like for a lot of you guys that once you acknowledge the rest that you need, and once you take that rest, and once you really see where you're able to break free from this kind of rut that you're in, things are going to start picking up much more rapidly. And I also keep getting this message for you guys to say yes, to the invitations, to say yes to the questions. And for some of you, if you have a question, if you came to this reading with a question, am I on the right path? Should I do this thing? I keep hearing like the answer is yes, a strong yes. So for anybody who came here with a yes or no question, or looking for some sort of very specific answer, I feel like the answer is yes here. That's coming through quite strongly, but there is something here about like the messages that you're going to receive if you can allow yourself to pull back on the reins of this everyday routine and this structure and this idea of like the straight and narrow. There's something here about really needing to get out of that rut that you've been stuck in, group number one. So let's go ahead and pull you one final message, any last guidance or advice that your guides want you to have in regards to the current energy surrounding the solstice and the new moon. Group number one. We have, it is safe and beautiful to express my sensuality. Okay, so group number one, I really feel like what's happening here for you guys is that your divine feminine energy is evolving and blossoming. Your feminine energy is really wanting to come out, really wanting to be exposed, really wanting to be a part of your everyday life, and that's that intuition and the emotions, and really honoring that part of yourself that maybe you've been telling yourself isn't right. So there's something here about needing to honor your own emotions as well, group number one, and knowing that it's safe to have these emotions and really embracing that part of yourself instead of trying to hide it away, group number one. Like, don't hide away the fact that you have emotions or that you feel certain ways or that you feel certain things. There's something here very significant for you guys about allowing your kind of hidden senses, your intuition, your psychic abilities, your emotions, your internal energies to come out into your physical world instead of trying to suppress them. For whatever reason that may have occurred for you. Some of you guys, maybe you grew up or you had certain experiences within your life where it wasn't safe to express them, as we see here. Some of you guys may have experienced like this this ideology that your emotions are invalid or that they're wrong or that they're worthless, as we are really taught in this day and age that our emotions are dangerous and things like this. And you're really being asked to break that way of thinking, group number one, and to honor your internal self and to allow it to be present within your world instead of feeling like it's a negative or bad thing to have these parts of yourself, because it's not. But this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful group number one. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, comment down below, let me know what you thought of this reading. Let me know what else you guys would like to see. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group number two. Those of you that chose pile number two, this reading is for you, and we are looking at the energies and what you can expect and what messages your guides have for you in regards to the winter solstice, as well as the new moon in Capricorn. So the winter solstice, or Yule, is occurring on December 21st, which is the day that this video goes live. But even if you come to this a couple days later or whatever, that's perfectly okay. And the new moon in Capricorn occurs on December 23rd. And I do really feel that due to these energies being so close together, they are very significant and kind of playing off of one another, which is why I'm doing this video kind of together. So the winter solstice is a celebration of the solar return. It's a celebration of the sun coming back. It's a celebration of the sun, but it is the darkest, longest night of the year. And there is something very significant collectively about embracing this darkness and allowing ourselves to be present in it. I do feel like that is a very significant energy that's occurring collectively, at least for the souls that are tuning into this reading. But we also then have the new moon in Capricorn, or the dark moon, which also kind of embraces the darkness. It embraces the internal senses and this idea of retreat and learning and allowing. And I feel like that's kind of a theme coming through here in regards to this energy. But this reading here, we're going to be looking at the energies of this solstice and this new moon and what it's bringing forth for you and what you can expect, as well as any messages or guidance, advice that your guides have for you at the time that you come to this reading. So group number two, we are going to start off with the astro dice just to get kind of an idea of the astrological influences or the overall impact of this time of year for you, of the solstice, of the new moon. Okay, so we have second house energy, we have Neptune, and we have Gemini. Interesting. Okay, so the biggest part of this that I see here for you guys is a need to make your dreams a reality, a need to make that, like, it is possible for you guys to make your dreams a physical, tangible manifestation, and that's something that's coming through here quite strongly for you guys, as well as to communicate your dreams, to network, to connect to people who are like-minded, to connect to people who have similar visions or ideas. I do also feel for you guys that this idea of visions and maybe even psychic abilities are going to be very much so enhanced. Some of my group number twos may be really being activated in regards to like telepathic energies or kind of psychic visions. as well as like dream energies may be very, very prominent or bring a lot of messages or clarity to you through this time. But I feel like overall, the entire reason for these activations is to really push you to bring certain energies, visions, dreams into physical manifestation. There's something here about needing to begin building your castle or your kingdom, even for group number 2. Wow. So Neptune energy rules Pisces. Gemini energy we have here, which is ruled by Mercury or the mind. And then second house energy is ruled by Taurus. For anybody who's curious about those energies or resonate with any of those are what is coming through here. But let's go ahead and get into your cards, group number 2, and go a little deeper into this message and what you can expect from this solstice and new moon, and what guidance your guides have for you at this time. For group number 2, please. We have the Forest coming out. And this here says, "It is without question a place of mystery, whispers of power you've forgotten. Let thy strength crawl from beneath the ground and remind you, dear child, you are magic." Yeah, there's something very, very significant about your manifestation abilities as well as your psychic gifts and abilities here. Very, very significant about connecting this psychic energy, this internal energy, to like the physical world, kind of becoming the magician of the tarot, if you will. Interesting. I love that. But there is like this sense of mystery surrounding this. So especially even with Neptune here, there is this sense of mystery with Neptune as well. So it's almost as though like you're being asked to create this vision, even though you're not going to know, or you're not going to be able to know what that manifestation is going to bring to you, or what that is going to entail afterwards. So there's something here, a message for group number 2, to not try to plan every single thing out, to allow yourself to take one step at a time and to be fully present in every step that you take, and allow yourself to take these steps even though you don't know what the final outcome is going to be or what the end goal is. Allow yourself to take the steps, allow yourself to manifest the first thing, and then the second, and then the third, and allow those to kind of lead you instead of needing a clear path before you start. So working with like the law of attraction, and studying those energies and really getting in tune with how you can connect to physical kind of manifestations is something that's going to be very, very significant for group number 2. Wow. So let's pull another card here for you guys. We have letting go. Yeah, there's really a need to kind of let go of this idea of control or this idea of planning. So group number 2, there is a time and a place for planning and organization, right? And we like those things in our life. But there comes a point where we have to let go of the plans that we've made, where we have to let go of this control or this idea that if it doesn't turn out exactly the way that we thought it was going to, or that we thought we needed it to, then we failed. There's something here about really needing to put your intentions into the world and then let go of the outcome, let go of what happens after that. That is a very strong message here for you guys. And this may be something that you've been struggling with. And I feel for a lot of my group number 2s that this is something that's been holding you back. It's very interesting as well. We have the second house, and we also have number 22 here in regards to letting go. So the number 2 may be something very significant for you guys, as well as for some of you guys, there may be a specific person within your life, or that has been within your life for a period of time, that there's a need to kind of let go of either certain expectations or this idea of what you thought was going to be with this person. Because what I'm seeing here, for those of you that resonate with this particular part, is that once you can let go of this idea that this is the only person that can fill this spot in my life, the person that's meant to fill that spot is going to show up behind them. But you're not going to be able to see even if this isn't in regards to another person, that's just kind of how this is coming through here. But it's almost as though, like, once you let go of this idea that this is what it has to be and this is where it has to go within my life, it's like what's actually meant to fill that space or that void is going to show up beyond it, but you can't see what's beyond this thing until you let go of it. I hope that makes sense, but that's how that's coming through here for me. Let's go ahead and get some tarot for group number 2 and see what else we have for my beautiful souls that chose this pile. I really feel for you guys that working with your manifestation abilities, even like spell work, for those of you who resonate with that, like, it's going to be very, very powerful for you. This is going to be a very powerful time of manifestation and allowing yourself to really embrace the unknown, embrace the mystery of life is going to be something that's so very productive for you. Even though that may seem counterintuitive, it's going to be so productive for you when you can let go of the outcome. And that's something that your guides are really wanting to push, because when you place expectations or this idea of what it has to be on your manifestations, you're blocking all of your blessings that way, is what I'm seeing here. The butterfly may also come through as a sign, synchronicity, omen, or messenger for group number 2. We have the Knight of Cups coming out here. And like immediately when I look at this, what I see is like, allow yourself to chase your dreams. Allow yourself to go after the things that you want. Allow yourself to be open to receiving love and joy and happiness and success and victory. And don't limit what those things can be in your life. I hope that makes sense. Like, don't place limitations on what happiness is. Because if you've never experienced this bigger version of happiness or this other idea of happiness, how do you know that that's not going to bring you more joy and fulfillment than this idea of what happiness is supposed to be? Interesting. So there's definitely something here about a shift in perspective for group number 2, allowing yourself to chase the unimaginable, allowing yourself to chase your dreams, allowing yourself to follow where your imagination leads you, and believing that it's leading you to the best possible outcome, instead of being like, well, it's leading me left and my happiness is to the right and only to the right, so this must be wrong. There's really a need to let go of those limitations. As well as for some of you guys, as I mentioned earlier with the relationship thing, there may be somebody coming in to offer you some sort of like love confession or some sort of message in regards to, some of you guys may be receiving an apology, some of you guys may be receiving like an invitation of some sort, or like an offering of some sort here as well. I do see that for you. But it's not going to be from either who you have told yourself it has to be from or who you expect it to be from. There's something very unexpected about this. We then have the Five of Wands. Yeah, it's almost as though you guys have been like fighting against the universe here, fighting against spirit, fighting against yourself in a way that has caused a lot of blockages and a lot of limitations. There's a lot of limitations I feel that you guys have subconsciously placed within your life that keeps you from the actual wealth and abundance and luxury and love and sensuality that you're seeking. All of these things are trying to come in, but you're expecting them and almost trying to force them to come in specific ways. And Spirit is saying like you're fighting against your manifestations by doing this. Interesting. As well as for some of you guys, if you have any sort of dream or have imagined yourself to enter any sort of contest, even, you know, like marathon, I'm seeing here, like running a marathon or entering any sort of competition or contest, there's something here about really needing to do that. and to allow yourself to do this in a mentality that is productive and fun and involved and connected, versus I'm not good enough to win, so there's no point in doing it. Even if you don't think you're going to win, or even if you're not, as good as other people, in your mind, there's still a need to do this, is what I'm hearing for you guys. Like, you never know. You never know what the outcome's going to be. We also have here the Five of Swords. Interesting. Yeah, there's a strong shift in perception that's needed here, because it's almost as though your perception is what is causing you to take action against your own manifestations and against your own desires, even though you feel like you're not. I really hope that this is making sense for you, but this is really what I'm seeing. It's like your happiness and the things that you're desiring are trying to come in much bigger ways than you could ever possibly imagine. But it's almost as though you're running away from them because you're trying to force them to happen, occur, or come in very, very specific ways. And your guides really want you to kind of let go of those limitations that you've placed upon this. However that comes through for you. Is it's going to be different for everybody, as this is a general reading, but as well as being very mindful of the words that you're speaking, like I can't, or I won't, or that'll never happen, or any kind of statements like this. You really need to kind of, I feel like, adjust group number 2, or even become aware of when and why you're saying these things, because that's showing you where your limiting belief patterns are. And your guides want you to recognize and acknowledge where these limiting beliefs are placed at within your life, so then you can change and transform them. Your words hold power, group number 2, and we see that with this Gemini energy as well. Your words hold a lot of power. And so it's almost as though what you're speaking is going to be your reality. And if you're saying I can't, then that is going to be your reality. Wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull you one final message, group number 2. Any last guidance, advice, actions you should be taking, or anything else you need to know in regards to the solstice or new moon in Capricorn for group number 2, please. Okay, we have here, my emotions move through cycles and connect me to my truth. Okay, so there's a need to kind of acknowledge any triggers, or even like emotional cycles or cycles within your visions that are leading you to this idea that you can't, or there's something here about like resisting certain truths as well. See, again, there's like this fighting against yourself here, and there's a need to really embrace yourself, embrace what you feel, embrace your dreams, even though they may seem unimaginable, or they may seem, completely out of the question, or you may have been taught that your dreams aren't worth anything, or however that comes through for you, group number 2. Your guides are saying like it's time to embrace your dreams, it's time to go after your dreams, and it's time to create a life that you love instead of fighting against that life out of these limiting beliefs. Like, really, limiting beliefs is your biggest kind of enemy right now, and your triggers are showing you where these limiting beliefs are at. Okay, but this is what I'm seeing for my beautiful group number 2. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of this. Let me know what other readings you guys would like to see. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hello, my beautiful group number 3. Those of you that chose pile number 3, this reading is for you, and we are looking at the energies of the winter solstice as well as the new moon in Capricorn. So this video is going up on December 21st, which is the day of the winter solstice, and the winter solstice is really more of a solar celebration. It's a celebration of the return of the sun, a return of the light, and it's also marking the point where we have reached like the depths of the darkness. It's the longest night of the year. It's the darkest night of the year. And I also feel like this energy is very, very connected to the new moon in Capricorn, or the dark moon, as this new moon is occurring only 2 days after the solstice on the 23rd of December. And collectively, overall, something that I've been tapping into, group number 3, is really a need to acknowledge how far we've come, as well as to embrace the darkness instead of looking at it as though it's something that is negative. So a lot of the times, especially in the spiritual community, you hear like, this idea of light workers, this idea of light versus darkness, of the higher self versus the lower self. And a lot of the times, regardless of how these terms or these ideas are portrayed, we tend to place like this idea of good and bad upon these ideas. And there's collectively like this need to release this idea that the darkness is a negative part of ourselves, or a negative aspect of humanity. And I feel like the fact that we've placed this ideology on our darkness, or on our shadow, or on our lower self, or whatever it is that you call it, or whatever it is that you resonate with, it's created like almost like a sense of disassociation from self, a resistance to ourself, a resistance to our deepest, truest version of ourselves. And I feel like this particular solstice is very much so about bringing those parts of ourself back. But let's go ahead and get into your reading, group number 3. I just wanted to kind of touch on that overall energy that I've been picking up on. Let's go ahead and see what energies and messages want to come forth for you, what your guides want you to know about, and kind of what season you're in for group number 3. So we're going to start off with the astro dice to get the overall energy, the astral energies that are impacting you the greatest at this time. So group number 3, we have, so we have Venus, we have 6th house, and we have Scorpio. Okay. So some of my group number 3s, you may be changing jobs. That's something that's coming through here. As well as I feel for a lot of my group number 3s, there's something very transformative happening within your sacral chakra that's allowing you to create something in the physical world. So for some of you guys, this could be about entrepreneurship, like creating a business. For some of you, this could be about a relationship. This could be about a change in relationship, whether it be a change in the energies within a connection that you have, or actually like changing or leaving, or moving on in some way, shape, or form. But overall, what I'm feeling here, regardless of how this happens for you guys, is an overall healing and activations of the sacral chakra. That is coming through here very strongly. And the sacral chakra embodies our emotions. It embodies our kind of like our past relationships as well. So some of you guys may be having like certain people coming back from your past through this time of year, or even like energetically, you may be tuning into them in some way, shape, or form, or having like memories come up. It also embraces our finances. So some of you guys, this, especially with the 6th house energy, this could be impacting your financial state, or even kind of being shown to you through your financial state as well, like this transformation. So overall, we have physical health, sexual health, and kind of emotional health coming forth here from the sacral chakra, being very prominent. Interesting. So I feel like health overall, like financial health, physical health, sexual health, emotional health, these aspects of yourself are going to be very, very loud for you at this time, and going through a lot of transformations. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into your cards, group number 3, and see what else we have coming out for you in regards to the energies that are impacting you, what you can expect, what your guides want you to know at this time in regards to the solstice, the energies of the solstice and the energies of this new moon in Capricorn. So yeah, we have light. Hope is but a word casting the unseen. Let there be light where light is but a dream. Wow. So I feel like group number 3, again, there's something very significant here about bringing parts of yourself forward that maybe you didn't even know needed healing. There's a sense of healing coming in for you guys, which is, it's a very, very powerful healing. A healing of a part of yourself that either you didn't know needed to be healed, or it could even be for some of you guys like healing from past life relationships. Or even just healing from past relationships that created a lot of emotional trauma, or that were very, very significant to you in some way, shape, or form. There's a lot of healing coming to your sacral chakra here. A lot of healing. Wow. Which is beautiful. It's going to allow you to change. It's going to allow you to blossom. It's going to allow you to love again for some of you. And it's really going to impact the way you move through your physical world, the way you interact with your physical world. Almost like the relationship you have with life is transforming because of this healing that's occurring. So a lot of my group number 3s experienced some very severe trauma, like emotional trauma, whether this be from like a romantic relationship, from your childhood, from past life energies, whatever it is for you. This is a general reading, so that's going to be different for everybody, but there's like significant emotional trauma that really caused you to have a different relationship with the world. It caused you to interact with finances, to interact with your job, with the people around you, and with your physical environment in a different way. And due to this healing, it's almost like healing the way you interact and view this life and this world as well. So a lot of you guys may have really struggled with the idea of being in this physical 3D reality. And there is a sense of like ease coming to that for you guys with this healing. Wow. So this is pretty big, I feel, for you guys. Like very major healing, very major transition and change. So let's go ahead and pull another card for you guys. Group number 3. I feel like this is going to like restore, it's almost like restoring your faith in humanity, restoring your faith in whatever it is that you believe in love for some of you guys, restoring your faith in love, restoring your faith in humanity, restoring your faith with the divine source, God, the universe, whatever it is that you resonate with. There's like the sense of restoration. We have trapped coming out here. So we have the crow coming forth, or the raven. And this here, okay, group number 3, with the raven coming forth here, this is I feel like this is coming forth as a sign, a messenger, an omen for you guys over the next couple of months, or even over the next year. This could be a guide that walks with you. Kind of an animal spirit guide or a messenger in some way, shape, or form that presents to you where change either needs to occur, where change is happening, or like this transformational energy, as well as messages. The raven is very, very connected to bringing forth the unseen messages, connecting you to unseen forces. And I feel like for a lot of my group number 3s, your ability to connect to the divine, to the universe, to your higher self, or to your light, or however this comes through for you, whatever it is that you've been having a hard time connecting to, even your faith or your heart space, or however that comes through for you, it's been kind of locked up, it's been trapped, it's like there's been a wall. And I feel like group number 3, you guys have struggled for a period of time with connecting to anything, or having that ability to feel connected to this world or to other people or to love or to happiness. And it's almost as though this cage is being opened for you guys with this healing. Your ability to connect, to reconnect, to embrace and embody love and light and the higher self, as cliche as that sounds, is coming forth for you. There is kind of like a death of this trauma, if you will, coming forth. Wow, okay. So very, very powerful energies coming forth for you guys, and the raven is coming forth as a guide for you, and that's something that I feel like some of you guys may need to know. So let's pull some tarot, group number 3, and see what else we have coming out for you. Some of you guys may have been in kind of the depths of a dark night of the soul, or you may have felt, for some of you guys I am seeing here, like you may have felt that you've been in a dark night of the soul for your entire life. And if that's the case for you, it's ending. There is a need to kind of focus and work on learning how to be grounded and in this physical reality, so working with grounding techniques, or even like the root chakra in order to get to the sacral chakra may be very beneficial for you. Working on connecting to your ancestors, connecting to your present moment, working on connecting to your home, connecting to the ability to feel safe. These types of things may be very, very helpful for you as well. Telling yourself, like writing it even like on sticky notes or on your mirror in the bathroom or whatever, I am safe. Maybe something that really helps some of you guys that came to this reading. I am safe. We have the 3 of Wands. Yeah, you guys are getting ready to move beyond this cage. You guys are being freed. There is a sense of adventure, a sense of exploration coming forth for you guys, that you're stepping into. So really what I see here with this is just this idea of stepping outside of this cage, stepping outside of this box, or these limitations or these fears, or however this is coming through for you. Group number 3, this is a general reading, so apply it where it resonates, but there's this idea of stepping outside of like stepping through this threshold that's been keeping you locked up for a very long time. And we have the 10 of Swords, yeah. There is completion of this cycle of pain, a completion of this cycle of having to fight for every single thing that you have, a completion, death of this trauma. Group number 3, I don't know how else to say it. There's a death to trauma happening here, a death to, even for some of you guys, like a past life karmic debt being lifted. No longer feeling like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. No longer feeling like life or love hurts too much to be a part of. There is brighter days ahead for group number 3. There is. you know, maybe even celebrating the solstice with the idea of the return of the light, the return of the sun, celebrating that for you guys, like celebrating that not only for the actual return of the sun, but metaphorically for the return of your own light, for the return of love and these things for you in your life. And then we have the Seven of Wands. So group number 3 with that, there's like this idea that you're coming to a point where you can, like, it's almost like you're coming to this point where you need to stop fighting, where you're able to stop fighting. And this doesn't mean that you're not going to be like on edge, or even for some of you guys, you know, looking for where the next threat or where the danger is at, but there's this idea that you can let your guard down. Finally being able to let your guard down, finally being able to sit down and rest, to stop fighting, group number 3. So you guys are definitely my warrior souls, and you guys are definitely going through like this massive, almost soul healing and sacral chakra healing and past life healing, and it's very, very powerful for you guys. Very powerful for you guys. So let's go ahead here and pull you one final message. Group number 3, any last guidance or advice, actions you should be taking, or anything else that your guides want you to know at this time for group number 3. It's almost like the battle is over. Group number 3, the battle is over. Whatever that means for you. We have movement awakens my creative spirit coming out for you guys. So again, like this movement, I'm seeing this movement as like stepping through that threshold, stepping out of that cage, stepping out of that trauma is awakening a part of you that I feel for a lot of my group number 3s you didn't even know existed, as well as awakening like this ability to be in this physical reality, awakening passion and allowing you to use kind of that fire energy within you for things other than battle, for things other than fighting and defending. There's this idea of using your fire for light and for creativity and for passion and ignition, like reignition of your soul happening here for group number 3. Wow. So very, very intense and powerful healing happening for you guys in such a major level. And I just be gentle with yourself and allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to embrace this new reality that is coming in for you guys. Allow yourself to step out of this cage and celebrate that, group number 3. But this is what I'm seeing for you guys. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, if it brought you value, please hit that like button, as it truly does help to support the channel. Comment down below, let me know if you chose this pile. Let me know what other kind of readings you guys would like to see. Consider subscribing if you feel called to do so. I thank you guys so very much for joining me here today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!